Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gent's Conclave. This is episode 2. Joining me on the podcast today, we have Sam.
And Blake.
So it's just the two of us today. That means we get some one-on-one time together. How you doing, man? How's life treating you?
It's doing alright.
Doing all right?
Texas weather.
Texas weather, yeah. It's
Can't go outside.
pretty fucking warm out. So, speaking of pretty fucking warm, I don't know, I just showed you the little Banksy picture, the Banksy painting. It's his most recent thing. So, if you guys haven't seen a picture of it, it's like a little kid doodle. You know how little kids, they'll do like the stick figures, and then for the clothing, they'll do like really boxy clothing, and then they'll have like the little like doodle of a house. Well, that's what that's what the picture is. It's like a little girl walking down, and like the old school stick with like a hoop thing that they would do. The girl's doing that, but it's a burning tire, and the tire looks legit. It looks like a legit tire. It's a really cool painting, and in the story, he left a note there at the painting. This is actually at a school. The kids, they voted, and they wanted to name the school after Banksy. Mm-hmm. And so to show appreciation, Banksy went and he painted that mural on their school for him and left that note saying, "Thank you for naming the school after me. Anybody that wants to like paint anything on this mural at all, they can absolutely do it." And then the adults ended up doing, they're like, "No, we don't want anybody touching this because it's a Banksy, it's an original Banksy, and this thing's worth some money." And of course, I think Banksy knew that was going to happen. And so he ended up saying at the very end of it, it's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission from adults. Which is very, very interesting to me. So that's like, he's known for doing this kind of stuff. You said you don't know much about Banksy.
No, I don't know.
He's
Banksy.
known for doing very political kind of art and stuff like that. A lot of like dark humor and satirical paintings and stuff to kind of like point himself against the man, if you want to say that.
All right.
He does a lot of really cool stuff, and I would say, like, I don't know any other like major artist of our generation right now, but I know the name Banksy. I've heard the name Banksy before. I'm not super familiar with the art world. I'm not super up on everything that he does. I'm starting to wonder if like that dude's gonna be like our artist of our generation, like the artist. Like when you look back on it years down the road, that's kind of what I see. But yeah, I find it super interesting how he's kind of like doing these things, and he's just trying to like make a point, and it looks like he's trying to like change like the next upcoming generation. Like he's trying to influence some of the kids to be different, make a change, and he's just doing it with simple things like artwork. That's what's pretty crazy to me. His art's awesome too. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend going and just like looking at some of it. It's really, really cool, some of the stuff he does. The first time I heard about him, he did something with like a dollar bill, or not like the American dollar. I think it was like a euro or something like that. And he went and he like would, every time he would get one, he'd doodle it and then he like put it into circulation, and they were called Banksy bucks. And I don't know where they're at, or like people are like holding on to them now. I would assume they are. It's because of how popular he's gotten. So that's something that's pretty cool about him. But to kind of go off on a little tangent here, what do you think constitutes art? Do you think like anything could be art, or do you think that it gets to a certain point where something is no longer art?
If it has a sense of originality, of course it's art.
Okay. So like there was a famous artist a little while back. He went to, and you hear stories about this all the time. Like someone will go to an art gallery and they'll drop like a shoe in a corner, and you'll see like people going over and looking at it and like contemplating what it means, and it's just a dude dropping a shoe in a corner. But like it was, I don't know how many years ago it was, but a dude brought a urinal, and he's a pretty famous artist. He brought a urinal into a gallery showing, and he just slammed a urinal down, and then he just left it there. Do you consider that art?
It depends on what kind of message he brought with it. I'm assuming he put it there for a reason. He was trying to get a certain message across.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And I don't think anybody else has walked into a gallery and dropped down a urinal, so it was original.
That's true, 100%. But like things, I've seen another thing where they took a table, just like a regular old coffee table that you would see inside of like an apartment. They set it down, they put a couch there, they put a television there, and then they put like snacks and like magazines and stuff on the table. And they just left it there and they said it was art. Do you consider that art as well? This is at another gallery. I've seen pictures of this.
Yeah.
Yes?
Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
There's no reason not to, really.
I'm going to agree with you. I think that we're in the minority on this as well.
Yeah. The thing is, like, people will be like, oh, anybody can do that, and then why aren't there people doing that?
Exactly. Exactly.
Why don't you be the creative one and come up with an idea to go into a gallery, put your name out there, and put down a coffee table with a bunch of candy or magazines on it?
Absolutely.
You can do it too, but you didn't. And then you can sit there and chastise them for doing something simple and unoriginal when it was original and you didn't think of it and they did.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. I think that there's also multiple layers when you start diving into this. You start looking at it and things like Andy Warhol, like his big tomato Campbell soup thing. Like all he did, he just painted Campbell soup. He just painted a can of Campbell soup, and that thing is one of the most famous paintings of all time.
Prince. They're Prince.
They're Prince now, but
no, Andy Warhol was a printer.
Oh,
he
was
printed.
Regardless, it's something so simple, and that's one of like the most famous like pieces of art outside of like I think the Scream, I think is what it's called, and the Mona Lisa. Like I know like the Campbell soup,
Starry Night.
Yeah,
Van Gogh's very popular.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Van Gogh, that's a crazy motherfucker right there.
He's crazy, but he had one of the greatest artistry minds of his time.
The thing that's really interesting about artists is it seems like they have to have something a little off about them. It seems like every really, really great artist has had some sort of mental disorder.
Oh yeah,
They've just been batshit insane.
They're eccentric. A lot of them are eccentric and different, and that's what makes them individuals, unique, creative. They think differently.
Do you think their minds just like see different shit? Or
I don't really think that. They just think of things that aren't already thought of. I don't think they're crazy.
Well,
some of them have addictions and they do have mental problems. But I mean, I wouldn't put them in the crazy loony box. Like, they're not schizos. Some of them aren't.
Well, yeah. I don't know, man. When Van Gogh cut his ear off, man.
He sent it to a prostitute. It was his whole thing, man.
Just a little thing, but that's crazy to me.
He had a lot of problems. He was an alcoholic. A lot of artists are addicted to substances, which are it's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like the top artist. I'm not saying like if you want to be an artist, go out and do this.
Go down to,
but
inject
like
up.
They have some sort of a vice or something that they have just something dark about them. That's the thing. Like you don't see like a happy, cheery painter or something like that.
Salvador Dali.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, Salvador Dali, dude. That dude was happy-go-lucky in his little mustache.
Let's just put a happy little accident right there.
And then Bob Ross's afro, that iconic afro.
Yeah, that dude's a legend. Gosh, have you watched any of his videos?
Yeah, they did like a month of Bob Ross on Twitch. And
yes,
it was
they did.
Just like replays of all of his stuff. I watched several hours of it and I was entertained. It's very mellowing, very calm. Of course, you can't read the chat because it's not good.
The chat's cancer, yeah. Do you think Bob Ross was like the originator of ASMR? Because that dude's got like a just real mellow voice. Just kind of hangs out. We just paint some little trees. A little cloud up there.
The original ASMR? I don't know. I think he was going for a more of a mellow tone.
More of a mellow tone. Did you know
they were intentional for like to learn how to paint, to teach.
Okay.
He wanted to help people.
He was a military man. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Bob Ross was a military man. I think he was an Air Force pilot, actually.
Air Force pilot?
Air Force. Bob Ross, the one and only with the big old afro. Could you imagine, like, squeezing him into, like, a stealth blackbird, and he's just out there flying around? All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to
drop the nuclear bomb to end all civilization.
Aim it up right about there. That looks pretty good.
Drop it away. Oh, we missed a little bit, but that's all right. We'll get into that later.
I think that'll have enough splash damage to go ahead.
I call that a happy little mistake.
God damn. But to kind of track back to like the whole Banksy thing, we're seeing a lot of kind of uprisings, and it looks like there's kind of a big revolutionary change going on throughout the world.
A social change, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around. The last couple of days, actually, like the whole thing that happened with Turkey. I told you about. I think I told you a little bit about it.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't really elaborate much, but you told me there was some stuff happening.
Yeah. So, for those of you that I assume that most people don't really pay attention to the world news, because I don't. But that's because I live under a goddamn rock or something like that.
No, we live in Texas.
We live in Texas.
If it's not about Texas, we don't care about it, because that's how Texas is.
But there was a military coup in Turkey. It wasn't the entire Turkish military, but a good portion of them. And there were reports of like the entire Navy was going against the government, but they were trying to overthrow the government. And at one point, they said that the people that were starting the coup had power, and then the government, I guess, retook it. I don't know. There was a lot of conflicting reports. And now this just came out today, apparently. It says, I'm on Reddit. So
the most
take this with a grain of salt. It says, at the height of the attempt to overthrow the Turkish president Tayyip Erdogan, I probably slayed that.
That's probably murdered.
Probably slayed it. The rebel pilots of 2 F-16 fighter jets had Erdogan's plane in their sights, and yet he was able to fly on. Okay. I saw something else about, where was it? Oh, here it is. So this is the thing that was pretty interesting to me. It was about, the French actually said this. They said, Turkey may no longer be a viable partner in fights against ISIS and fellow coups. So they're kind of like looking at Turkey and they're just like, well, you're out. And so I almost wonder if Turkey would like team up with ISIS. I know I'm getting a little crazy here and I'm extrapolating. I'm just trying to...
Well, you're just trying to come up with a different...
Yeah.
Circumstance. I mean, it's an option. It's possible. We can't really talk for Turkey themselves.
Yeah,
we don't know what their morals and standings are on the whole ISIS America terrorism thing.
I'm putting my tinfoil hat on when I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here on this. They have a world news Reddit. Yeah, 42 helicopters missing in the Turkey. They've detained 6,000 people from the coup. Tensions between U.S. and Erdogan administration rise after failed power grab. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has denied the U.S. played any part in Turkey's attempted coup. Interesting. I didn't know that we were being accused of trying to get on that. It wouldn't surprise me if the U.S. had something to do with it.
Well, I suppose we had something to do with it. We're just not going to admit that we did.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want that to come out because then there's going to be a whole thing. It's like, well, what the fuck you guys doing sticking your nose over here in our shit?
We stick our nose in other places, man, everywhere. It's just...
Yeah, it's a whole fucking fiasco going on over there. And then down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 3 more cops got fucking killed.
That's a serious issue in America.
It's starting to really come around.
It's getting bad.
It's not peaceful protest.
I'll tell you what, if I was a cop, a long-term serving cop for my community, I would probably retire at this point.
I have a family member that's a police officer, actually.
I would suggest finding a new career because it's getting to the point where people are citing on other people shooting cops.
Yeah, just because. Well, not
just because they think they're over using their rights as a law enforcement individual.
It's not all officers that do. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because it absolutely does. But this particular one that happened in Baton Rouge today, I guess it wasn't like a whole protest thing that was going on. It was near a protest site, but it wasn't because of a protest. I guess there was a shootout at like some sort of gas station, and I guess one of them had an assault rifle.
The cop or the
one of the suspects, I guess,
had an assault rifle.
Had an assault rifle, and apparently there's three suspects, I guess.
Okay.
3 confirmed officers dead. The last I knew.
Was it premeditated?
No, was not premeditated. The officers came up to a shootout at a gas station, and the people that were doing the shootout turned on the officers, killed 3 officers. The officers shot one of the suspects dead, and then I guess 2 or 3 others have been arrested since then.
As bad as that sounds, it's better that it happened at a shootout than a random coming up to a cop car and shooting him through his window.
Yeah, it wasn't premeditated.
It seems that it was more like of a circumstantial thing, that they were doing a bad thing and they turned on the cops.
However, it
is still a very sad thing.
They're fucking. Being a police officer, I think, is probably the hardest job in America right now, hands down, bar none. You have you heard like the crab fisherman is like the most dangerous job because you're out there in like the waves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. When you're a crab fisherman, you're not waking up every goddamn day to go to work and see a bunch of people that fucking hate you because you wear a uniform.
Yeah.
They deal with people every day that lie to their face and fucking just absolutely hate their guts for no reason other than they're wearing a uniform. I can't imagine. And now they have targets on their head. Not that they didn't have targets on them already. Not that they didn't have targets on them already. Now it's just tenfold with this whole movement that's going on. It's bananas. Like, I don't know what people are trying to accomplish by killing officers. Like, if you want the police force to go away, alright, cool, do it, and let's have fucking just random militias walking around. I'm sure that'll be a lot better. Unregulated militias. That sounds fantastic. Like, that's the only alternative I see to not having a police force, because otherwise crime's just going to be rampant, and crime's already rampant as is, even with the police force. And so I don't understand what the big push is. Like, when you're killing cops, what are they trying to accomplish? What message are they trying to send?
I think it's just a rebellion against overpowering forces, government, state, etc. I don't know. People don't like to be oppressed. And they feel oppressed by policemen. I don't know why they feel oppressed, but
that's the most creative way that they can think of.
Shooting somebody? I don't know.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. I don't understand it. I want it to stop.
It would be nice for it to stop.
I don't think anybody wants, a bunch of shootings to go on.
No, violence is never looked after as being a thing that we want to happen.
It's getting out of hand, I think, and something needs to be done on both ends. There's talks of having officers wear cameras and stuff like that, and I mean that's going to be a huge push with money and stuff. Putting even GoPros. I mean, like GoPros.
I don't think they'd be walking around with GoPros.
It would make the most sense.
Yeah, but GoPros wouldn't be economically.
For the price
suitable.
that they sell GoPros at, they sell them like a decent GoPro's like $100. I've looked at it. That's a markup. Damn well, that's a markup. Those would. I imagine it takes like $30 probably to make one.
Oh, probably less than that.
I would imagine. So I think that you could absolutely do that. They already have dash cams in like almost every squad car, but that's not going to catch everything. But I don't know. I think it's kind of like a false kind of sense of security if they have cameras, because they have cameras in places like the UK, and that doesn't stop crime. Police officers can't stop crime. They can't stop it. It's always going to be around. They're just there so that way they can clean up after the crime actually happens. There's no way to stop a crime from actually happening.
Yeah, well, they're there just to protect the civilian base.
Yeah.
They're there as a line of defense for civilians, so that civilians don't get hurt in random acts of violence.
Yeah. It's just fucking, I don't know. Like, I don't see a good answer for anything that's going on right now. It's a tough spot. Like, that's one of the big issues I think that we have in America right now is this. It's turning into a race war. It really is. There's the big Black Lives Matter movement, and then it's starting to get out of hand. Like, I'm not gonna pin it on Black Lives Matter specifically, because I do think it's an important movement. I think it's a good movement, but goddamn, man, some of this shit's getting out of hand. There's wrong messages being spread, and people are taking it to heart from people that shouldn't have the power and authority to be saying some of this shit. It's getting out of hand. It's unreal, and what do you do to step in and change this because of all the constitutions and all these kind of protections for the people? I mean, we can't go out and protect them from free speech, but like, it's not hate speech that they're speaking, but people are interpreting it in ways to go out and use it as a rally for violence. Like, it's just, I don't know what possible answer there is. I mean, like, you can have individuals speak out and be like, hey, don't fucking go kill people, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah. That's the thing. You get a big group of people like that, you get power in numbers, and then you feel like you're beyond punishment.
Mob mentality. It's been a big thing lately. There's been a lot of trends of mob mentality and witch hunts and all kinds of stuff going on. So I don't have an answer. I wish I did. I don't know if anybody really has an answer right now. It's just tough.
As bad as it may sound, I think it might have to come down to a serious act of violence in a certain situation for it to really open people's eyes and minds collectively to stop this issue. And I don't want it to come to that, but it seems that, like, the only way anything ever gets done is if something really, really bad happens.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Like, you see it in the news and stuff like that. The only news they cover is, anytime you turn on the news, it's always like, who got shot today?
That's muddy. I don't really trust news channels and stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, to the mass public, that's what's shown to them. To the mass public, you turn on CNN, stock market's down, so-and-so got shot, there was an assassination, there's a coup in Turkey. You turn on the local news, so-and-so was carjacked at this area, be on the lookout for these people, stuff like that. Very rarely do you see any uplifting news.
Yeah, that's something that's got to change as well. We need to stop focusing on the negative and focus on the positive. When you focus on the negative, people just get a negative mentality.
Yes.
And they don't look towards a brighter future. You have to show stories of uplifting spirits, of cops going out there and helping people in their community and saving people's lives in order for people to get a different idea about cops.
That might be one of the biggest things that they can do, is start changing the image of a police officer. Right now they're villainized, and I don't understand why they're villainized, but right now they're villainized. They need to try to change the image of the police officers in order to get this target off of them. That's what I'm seeing.
And that's the hardest thing about a police officer, is you want to look at them positively, but you see a police officer behind you, you're going to feel like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
100% of the time, you just see a police officer walking or driving behind you, and you immediately change everything and how you're acting and how you're driving and walking, etc., what you're doing, your business around them. It's just, they just have a bad aura, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're scared of them.
As a kid, you're taught, if you get in any trouble, find a police officer. That's what you were taught. That's what I was taught as a kid.
I was going to say, I don't know what they teach now as children in schools with police officers.
With everything that's going on right now, I wouldn't be surprised if parents now are teaching their children not to look for police officers. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. just because of this whole phenomenon that's going on right now. And it's fucking scary that we don't have, like, even I have trouble, like, and I'm not a black person who's got this whole thing going on right now. Like, I'm a white dude, and even I don't, like, trust the police officers 110% right now, because there's crooked ones out there, and those are the only ones that we see. I know personally some decent ones, and, like, even still, like, just because you don't know, and with everything that's going on right now, it's just strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. They need an image change, I guess, is what that's one of the things that you're saying that I'm kind of picking off. But I don't know how you change their image, aside from just showing some of the positive things. But that's going to be slow. And maybe it has to be slow. Maybe that's the only way.
The thing about that as well is that you could be a positive image in the community, and so on and so on. But then you get everybody looking up to you, and then you have to write them a ticket. And then as soon as you write them a ticket, you're like, I thought you were supposed to be good.
Yep.
Why are you doing this to me? And it's like, well, you're breaking the law, first of all.
Yeah.
You deserve a ticket. And then I am still good, and because I'm good, I'm giving you this ticket.
Yeah, but we've all been there where it's like you're going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit down a road. You've seen other people pass you going 20 miles per hour, and you're the one that gets pulled over.
Yeah, but that's how life works.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's not how people
You could walk down the road one day and then walk down the road again, and you'll get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Is it the road's fault? No. It's just it's a matter of circumstance.
But that's how most people perceive it. Is that it's like, oh well,
wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. People don't see it that way, though. They think, oh, everyone's out to fucking get me. And that's not how it is, but that's how people perceive it, I think. I don't know. The most recent thing, like positive, uplifting news that I saw with a police officer is a kid got his Pokemon card stolen, and the officer went back to his house, grabbed his old collection, and gave it to the kid. That was the last bit of uplifting police news I've heard. That's it. And that was a month, maybe 2 ago. Outside of that, it's all been these fucking shootings going on. And it's... I don't know. They definitely... They need to try to do something. Like, obviously what's going on right now isn't working. Whatever they're trying to do right now isn't working. Something needs to change. I'm no expert on it, so I can't say what's going to change or how to change it. I don't know.
All right, we're all talking about the cop side. What do you think should change on a civilian standpoint?
Honestly, so...
Because, I mean, both parties are in the wrong.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the people that are being attacked are criminals. It's very rare, I think, that you see an innocent civilian in the crossfires of the police. And I know people disagree with that. That's one of the big movements. That's one of the big reasons why we're having this issue with officers.
And that's why that's like a lot of the videos you see. They shoot a homeless man or something like that.
They think it's innocent civilians that are being attacked, and some of it is. Some of it absolutely is, but I think a majority of it is criminals. And if you're a goddamn criminal, you don't care about the law. You've already made the decision to break the law. I don't know. How do you correct a criminal? Like, repeat offenders, you can go on, and this is a big thing. I actually studied this in in college. We did a whole presentation, a whole review on things about the criminal justice system and the whole trying to reform criminals and put them back into society. Well, when you have them in prison, we'll say, for like 10 years, they've been out of society for 10 years, and you're trying to reintroduce them to society. It's not easy. Like, I know people are like, well, they have things like you can get your GED in there, and there's books and stuff to read, but it's like, is that really enough? And obviously it's not.
They can do those things, but a lot of criminals that go to prison don't choose to go down that way. They see their time as days on a calendar. They don't really see it as a way to improve themselves and be a better person. And I think that, I don't know. Some people some people would go to prison and better themselves, but I would say the majority just go there to serve their sentence and then get out. And then go right back to what they were doing before they went to prison.
Yeah, usually you've just got repeat offenders in there. I even did a walkthrough when I was back in Boy Scouts when I was younger. They took you to a correctional prison? They took us to the one in downtown Rockford. They took us through minimum security, and they brought us in a maximum security prison as well. There's a little glass box in the middle of jail cells in maximum security with just cells all around you, and all the prisoners were going fucking insane. And they were probably doing it just as a show and stuff like that, but my God.
It might have been show, or that could have been it.
It was one of the... So the minimum security guys, they were all just kind of like chilling out. They're like, man, you don't want to be in here and stuff like that.
Sucks.
Yeah, that's what was going on in minimum security. And then you went into maximum security, and they were going fucking nuts. They were just running around, like, yelling at everyone. They were, like, banging on the glass and stuff like that.
Oh, my God.
It was fucking scary.
As a child, that would be terrifying.
I was in 6th grade.
You're still a child?
I was in 6th grade.
That is terrifying.
It was fucking scary.
I don't think I've ever visited a prison. Other than when I was younger, my father threatened me to take me to jail because I was acting bad or something. I don't remember. And then he drove us to the jail. And I remember he tried to rip me out of the car, and I was holding onto the seat like a lemur holds onto their mother. I was not letting that seat go because I was not going inside that prison. And I'll tell you what, I will never go to prison because of that.
Yeah.
I was so scared. I did not want to enter that place. I'd never been inside a prison. I don't want to know how it looks. I don't want to know anything about a prison. I know that there's guards and there's bad people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be one of those bad people.
Yeah, it's insane. But I've heard stories too, man. I've heard some crazy stories about some of the stuff that's going on in there. There's mental wards and everything in there with like some of the crazier.
Well, there's gotta be because there's crazy people in jail.
Some of the stories I've heard in there, it's absolutely batshit insane.
The crazy thing is what you can actually do in prison while you're serving a sentence.
Yeah,
because. Contrary to popular belief, is they have a lot of freedoms in that prison.
Yes.
Granted, you have to pay for them.
Yeah.
But if you have money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could get books, you can get movies, you can get games, you can do all sorts of things. You get phones. There was an article recently that people are playing Pokemon Go in prison. In prison. And I don't see why you would allow that as a correctional warden. Why you would give your prisoners the freedom of Pokemon Go, or a phone, or Wi-Fi, or internet. It seems like the prisoner in the correctional system is kind of flawed in that way.
Do you think that the prison's a Pokemon Go stop? Could you imagine?
I don't know how they would even get. If you're in prison, how do you get additional Pokemon balls?
Well, that's what the Pokemon stops are. So
that's what I'm saying.
Every 5 minutes, you get to spin that little coin thing, and it'll give you free Pokeballs.
Okay.
So if you're in prison and it's a Pokemon Go stop, every 5 minutes you can sit there on your Pokemon Go and fucking swipe it and just get all your Pokeballs. That would be insane. That would be like the ultimate like person. Could you imagine if someone's like super in on Pokemon Go and they're like, oh man, my prison's one of the Pokestops.
I could see that as like a focus for like, oh, this dude's over
there. How
there.
am I gonna get into jail?
I was gonna. Well, even. That or like people that are in jail and they're focusing on trying to get Pokemon. I could see somebody shanking another dude for a fucking Bulbasaur. Just like, hey man, you're not taking that Bulbasaur. If you take that Bulbasaur, I'm gonna take your life.
I mean, let's be real. If you have the like a phone, you're not in maximum security where the shanks are at.
No, not at all.
You're in minimum.
Even you're in prison. Anything could happen, really.
Yeah, but you generally
you could go from minimum to maximum real quick.
Yeah, if you really want to. There's a... What the hell? What up, Kitty? Joining us on the podcast, we have fellow guest Kitty. Kitty is here to weigh in on this whole issue.
Leave that candle alone. Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's a good candle. We can do a review on the candle at the end of the podcast.
That candle's old.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of things that need to change. We don't have a lot of answers to it.
No, but you need to talk about them regardless.
Yeah, it needs to be addressed. There's things that need to change. But to move on to a lighter note, I saw a really cool video today on YouTube. It was talking about black holes. And they had this satellite or this probe that was out in space flying around, and they were...
How far in space?
It was... Gosh... I don't know. It was getting out there.
But how far past our solar system?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. It was way out. It was far enough to where it was traveling towards a black hole. That was. It's
going into it, or it's getting sucked into it.
It was driving towards one because it.
That kind of sucks.
It wanted. They were what they're
they
trying to do.
Wanted.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out like things about black holes because that's one of the biggest things in space that we've got no idea about. We don't know if it leads to another dimension. There's talks that it can warp time itself. There's all kinds of crazy shit that's being talked about with black holes.
Mm-hmm.
But what was really, really interesting, the thing that happened, it sent out its last picture on accident because the people that were driving it kind of fucked up and there were software errors and shit like that. There's
I'm assuming when you get past the solar system, there's a lot of problems connecting with that. How do they connect with it? How do they control it?
I don't know. It's the same way that they work with like telescopes and there's towers and stuff like our phones. There's a lot of broadcasting signals and stuff like that go on. But what ended up happening is this thing was out taking pictures and sent back a picture of the last thing it saw with a black hole. And
so that probe's gone, yeah.
This thing's gone. It's off the radar now completely, and they've got no contact with it. It sent its last picture. It sent out this really, really cool thing, like a real blown up kind of ray thing of a black hole, and it showed some really cool stuff. Like they were looking at a galaxy and like a little cluster of like matter. They thought that this thing was going to be really, really thick with dark matter, and it was working with a lot of elements and all kinds of crazy stuff. They thought it was going to be a lot more chaotic, but they ended up seeing that it was really, really kind of ordered, and everything was just kind of going around because apparently black holes, they spit out energy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Apparently they spit out energy along the edges of them, and all of these elements seem to be absorbing the energy from this black hole really, really well. And so they're thinking that this is kind of like the early stages of what solar systems and galaxies kind of are. That's what they're kind of learning from this, and it's super interesting because they thought that everything was going to be absolutely chaotic over there.
Like a whirlpool, it just sucks in.
They thought it was going to be absolutely banana sandwich over there, and it's a lot more ordered than what they originally thought. So it's changing a lot of, some of our thoughts about what's going on out there. And black holes are one of the things.
Is there any way to time the black hole?
What do you mean?
Can a black hole stop being a black hole at some point?
I don't think so. Just because what happens with a black hole is when it becomes one, so you go through life as a star eventually becomes a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
So you start off with the little ones and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they turn into, I want to say like a supergiant or something like that, and then it can either go into two stages. It can either turn into a white dwarf, which is just kind of a neutral star. It's like at its end of its life and it just kind of sits there.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could turn into a black hole. And so black holes, the way that they get bigger is they just absorb more and more
material,
shit.
Yeah.
They just keep eating more and more. So like, the game Katamari that the Game Grumps are playing?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like you see how they're like eventually like picking up more and more stuff. And
Yeah,
it
they
just gets
gain
bigger
mass.
and bigger.
You just suck up mass.
It's exactly like that with a black hole, and it just keeps absorbing more and more shit, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. Yeah.
And they said that there's material around the edges that are not getting sucked up, or they're dealing with the pressure.
It has a gravity, so technically it is being pulled in, but apparently the edges of the black holes are spitting out energy, and they thought that all of these elements were going to react very, very poorly with this energy, but it turns out that they're absorbing it very well, and it's looking like it's going to create a new galaxy. Yeah, it's super interesting. And apparently Stephen Hawking very recently came out saying that he thinks that if we went through a black hole somehow, we would find an entire another universe on the opposite end. If we were able to go through the black hole, there would be another universe.
So a black hole would connect to another black hole.
in another universe, apparently. So
like another realm of reality, or
so you know how we're in like this universe. Imagine we're like universe 1. It could potentially like spit us out in like universe like
5.
Yeah, like universe 5, and it's completely separate from us. Completely different. There could be different laws of like gravity, and just like everything could be different there.
And Stephen Hawking said this?
Yeah. Stephen Hawking said this. And
that's insane.
There's another theory that our universe is inside of a black hole itself. Like we're floating through a black hole. That's another theory.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory would be in our reality, inside of a black hole, inside of a different universe that leads to another universe.
And this could go on like forever. Like
it could be like a layer of papers into a binder. You slap them all down, you close it, and we're in the middle somewhere.
We're
page number 356.
We know absolutely goddamn nothing. It's unreal. It's unfathomable to me. Like some of the theories that are out there, they're just like, we've got no idea. We just don't know.
We don't know because we have no way of going and exploring.
Absolutely no way.
Because our ships are freaking shitty. And the cost of getting a shitty ship in the shitty space is real shitty.
Hey man, I'm calling it. We're gonna see people land on Mars.
I mean, I say shitty shit is shitty ship and all that. It's like they're magnificent for our time, but they're economically sucking.
Oh my god, yes.
They're like $3 billion ship that might blow up on its way out of our atmosphere.
Yeah, well, I've heard another way that we're talking about getting minerals and resources is mining comets. Comets that come near us.
That would be very cool. It would be a way to catch a comet. Do they have any way of doing that?
I don't know, but they did a whole test thing. I don't know if you remember this. It was a few months ago where they landed like a satellite.
A shuttle on a comet.
Yeah. Landed something.
I remember that. Yeah, and they found like very similar materials on the said comet.
Yep, absolutely. And that makes sense because at the beginning of time, when everything started and our Earth was coming
we're all
together,
made out of the same stuff.
Yeah. We're essentially made out of star matter.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope when you think about it. But, so that's one of the ways that they're trying to figure out how to do that and extract material. I don't know. I don't know how you would catch a comet. That's why I don't work at NASA. It's rocket science, man. It's legitimate rocket science. But it's something that's really, really cool, and it could be like an alternative,
to mining the crap out of our own planet.
Yeah, absolutely. There might be.
With that though, too, we'd have to have the circumstance of them flying close enough to where we could catch it.
But you'd be majority of any like meteors or asteroids,
and then we have no way of determining what's on said comet that would be useful and what's not. It's not like we're like, oh, hey, that piece of coal is flying by Earth. We should probably grab that. We need coal.
I don't know. I don't know how they would do it.
I mean, that's really cool.
It's a thought. It's definitely something.
That's really interesting how they're thinking like that.
We got to get off this goddamn rock, man. Let's be honest. We got to get off Earth.
There's no way to get off the rocket. We're still relying on jet fuel propulsion.
Right now, yeah, there's no way to get off. But eventually, I think down the road, we got to figure out how to get out of Earth, man. There's just if we want humanity to continue existing down the road, there's no goddamn way that we can live here.
And we've talked about that before, but there's no way we could leave this solar system with our fire engines.
With what we have now, no, absolutely not.
Our technology would have to advance significantly.
We're seeing a big jump lately over the last.
Well, over our generation, we're 23,
real.
And we've seen technological advances that our parents would have never guessed would happen.
Yeah, internet, that's a big thing.
Internet we went from VHS tapes to nothing. Literally, you just suck it out of the air.
Yeah,
it's data. It's nothing but a stream of information.
Yeah, physical media is essentially dead, I would say. I mean, you've seen vinyl records come back, which is kind of cool. But
that's kind of like a hipster thing, though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we can chill in my crib with the vinyl records and drink Merlot.
Not gonna lie, I almost bought a Taylor Swift record the other day.
No, why? And play it on what?
I love
Throw it in
Taylor
your
Swift.
computer?
I was just gonna have it just to have it, man, just as a piece of art.
Just throw it up on the wall.
I have some Beatles records and AC/DC records chilling
Those
in my
are
room
you
right
can't throw those away. Nobody ever in their right mind should ever throw those away.
I've got them just chilling. I'm waiting for a little space. I can't wait to set up a little cave and just display all my cool shit. Like, I have
shelves and picture frames, little display lights. Yeah, it would be nice.
I think I showed you this, but it was when I went to the Walking Dead convention. I bought this dude. He did little paintings on lighters.
Yeah.
I have those. I would love to display those. I got nowhere to display them right now, but there's a lot of really cool stuff. I would get a vinyl record just for the sake of having a vinyl record.
And you would get the vinyl record player, correct?
You can get them. They sell them now.
They're
again.
Really not that.
They're cheap now too.
They're not
like
that
$20.
expensive. Yeah.
You can get some really, really fancy ones for upwards of $100, and some of them look pretty dank. But
I think you can get even higher than that. I seen one of my friends on Facebook posted one for like $250 and something.
Yeah.
It was like a dual vinyl recorder, like kind of like a DJ setup almost.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can definitely do.
Or
that
like a classic DJ, not the ones today that press a button and the whole song plays.
They play their iPod, man. That's all they do.
Yeah, they open up their iTunes and they press a few buttons and wee boop bop boop. That's a song.
Skrillex. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I like it. A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. The goddamn hipsters, they think that some songs sound
you
better.
could say a lot of people. I'd say the majority of people think themselves as hipsters, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. Up with the times. But some people think that vinyl records sound better than some of the traditional media we have now.
And I cannot believe that's a thing.
I don't know. Like, when you, especially, like, we've been playing Fallout. Have you turned on and listened to the radio at all?
Not once.
Not once? Well, you hear it a little bit around Diamond City and stuff like that. Like, there's those little robots that'll broadcast. But they have, like, that kind of, like, scratchy noise to it.
Well, yeah, that's not what it's like with the vinyl records. Not all of them.
I think
at least
for the
not.
most part.
I wouldn't say current times it wouldn't be like that at all.
I don't know. I haven't heard one. I don't think... I think maybe when I was a kid, I think my grandma and grandpa had a vinyl record player, and I think they turned it on once or twice, and then CDs came out, and then they were just all over the CDs. I remember when tapes were a thing. You remember when tapes were a thing? Tape players and cassettes.
My car has a cassette player.
You have a cassette player?
Well,
in your
it's a
goddamn
'98, so I mean,
Okay.
that was still relevant back in the day.
God.
And that was really that. My car was probably sought after for having a cassette player.
You know, we had my mom back in the day. We were out living. We were renting some house or something like that, and some person broke into her car and stole her fucking cassette player.
Those back in the day were
car.
expensive, man.
It was unreal. I remember that.
Even still, you look at like a CD player that you used to have in high school or whatever, and you're like, they were at $45. They were
people would jack those.
and if you took those, man, your parents would be pissed at you.
They made it so that way you can unattach them. Like, I guess you could like pop off like something and then bring it in your house and stuff like that. I guess they have that going on now.
Yeah, you can just it's essentially a face cover.
Yeah.
Of a system.
That's interesting. It's pretty crazy, man.
But those are expensive today too. Those little face cover ones you can install and take off right away.
They're like $100 or $200, right?
Yeah, and they get way more expensive than that. $340 you can get up into. They all change different colors. They have LEDs and crazy stuff with them.
I'm not gonna lie, they look really cool.
Yeah. Ain't nothing different than having like Xfinity.
Yeah.
With your touch screen, you can touch your little screen and play a different station.
I fucking hate touchscreens. That's actually been the worst thing about my car that's what I hate the most about my car is how my shit's a touchscreen now. Because before, I could look at the road and just push my hands over it and I could feel the buttons and I could like change the radio without having to look over. I could do that. But now I kind of have to take my eyes off the road for a second if I want to do that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's on the steering wheel now to adjust things.
Yeah.
but sometimes you have to look over at it in order to set some stuff up, and you might have to press a button. Some stuff they lock it down while you're moving. It won't work if you're moving. But
Makes
I mean,
sense.
I've still taken my eyes off the road to fucking look at it and touch it. What I'm saying is, I touch screens. Get rid of them. I want it out of my car. God damn it. Take out the touch screens.
You're gonna get more touchscreens.
I know. I fucking hate it.
Touchscreens are gonna get bigger and brighter.
I miss flip phones. I miss having a button.
You don't miss flip phones.
I swear to God I do.
A smartphone is the best thing that can ever happen to anybody.
You're telling me you can't make a smartphone that's a flip phone? You're telling me that with our technology
Why
we can't
would
do that?
you?
Because I want my goddamn flip phone back.
It wouldn't be any different than having a touchscreen then. You would
Hey,
just
man.
you would have an additional way to open it up.
Amount of broken screens would go down. Think about
I
that.
don't think so, because then you just have flip phones breaking in half.
No, absolutely not. They made some durable ones. The last one I had, it was the GZ1. That's the last one I had. That was
Cheesy.
GZ.
The GZ
Legitimately G and then a Z and then 1. That's what it was.
One Jeezy, man.
It was God. It was like construction grade, I guess, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, those are built to
Yeah,
Take a shit on.
you could absolutely do it. Well, they're making these now. They're the
Yep.
fucking touchscreens, Gorilla Glass, and
most of them come with Gorilla Glass, anyways, and that's just so they don't get scratched on
Yeah.
everyday use.
and then the iPhone. I guess I forgot what it was called. It's like sapphire glass or
they
something.
use
like
a different
that.
glass. Yeah,
It's something. There's actually
those
some really
things are correct. Those things are terrible.
yeah. There's
Those
actually
things
some really
spider
cool.
crack like crazy. You can get like pieces of glass in your finger and stuff.
Yeah, when it cracks, you fucking slide over it. It's moronic. I'm so sick of it. I haven't broke one yet. Well, I broke a friend's. I did that before.
You broke your friend's phone?
Yeah, we were hanging out, we were having a fire, and I like jumped on him, and he dropped his fucking phone on the pavement, face down. It was brand new. He had it for a week, and it was legit one of the new ones. It was like a Nintendo DS where it would like flip up, and it had
I had
two
one of
touch
those.
screens.
Yeah.
Dropped it face down on the concrete, and spider cracked it, and he was like, shit. And I was like, oh man. I felt bad. I really did, but yeah. I don't know, man.
Oh, that was one of the droids, yeah.
I think so. It's been years. It was back in high school. I think I was a junior.
I think I had a friend that had that same phone.
Pretty sure I was a junior. I was just a wee little chap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want my
Oh, we
flip
were
phone
like-
back. Give me my flip phones.
You can keep them.
I like how the Razor is making a comeback. That's probably like the coolest thing to me.
Okay, well, that's always been a phone that's been usable.
That was a phone I wanted so bad when I was a kid. I wanted the damn Razor, just because I thought it looked so cool. The buttons looked legit. It was so thin it would fit in your pocket. Like this thing right now. This thing is a hassle to have in my pocket. If I'm wearing
Well, that's
jeans,
because you got an outer box with a soft cover over it, and it just grips everything.
if I don't have my OtterBox, I have a chance of cracking my goddamn screen.
No, you don't. You just take care of it. You don't freaking throw it around. I've had this without a case 2.5 years. This thing looks like Michael's, if not better, and he got his 2 weeks ago.
I'm prone to breaking.
It
my
has a few
electronics.
dents and dings, and the metal casing on the outside is like a little scratched. But other than that, this thing has never broken. I've dropped it face down 3-4 times, and that's just because I got out of the car and
See?
it fell out of my pocket.
That happens.
And it didn't break.
Not.
You don't have to have the
Someti-
extra hassle.
You
of
had the
brick.
RNG on your side that day.
It's happened on different occasions. You don't have to have the protection on it.
I'm doing it. Better safe than sorry.
And
Because if
it
it
is-
breaks, then you're like, shit. Maybe I should
and
have.
then you have to also deal with the negative side that it's going to be big and clunky, and you're not going to like it in your pocket.
Well, I'd rather deal with that. That's why I'm doing it. But
Well, then you can't really complain about it.
if I had my construction grade flip phone back, I wouldn't have to worry about that because that would go easy in and out of my goddamn pocket, and then it's construction grade, so it won't break if I drop it.
Then do
I'm
it.
not
Buy
worried.
one.
They don't sell them anymore, and I won't be able to do all
No,
this stuff.
they do. They have smartphone versions of the ones that just can tank it all.
I will have to look into this because, as far as I know, that doesn't exist. Last I knew, smartphone or flip phones were completely off the grid, and if you don't have a goddamn tablet in your pocket, it doesn't exist.
They're out there.
I'm not going to Cricket. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna Have you seen that where they've got like the extra big numbers so that way old people can read it?
Well,
I'm not doing it.
Cricket's like the shitty version of all the cell phone companies.
I'm not goddamn doing it. I refuse.
They're just like for the ready available person.
Hey man,
They're cheap. They're affordable. If you don't depend on your phone, you can do it.
Whatever you got to do. What do you think, man?
I don't know.
You want to do it? No?
I don't really. Not with two people.
It'd be so good, I guess.
It would be better in a group. You get different inputs.
I think it would be a good transition. We could talk about games if we did it.
We could talk about games anyways.
Fine. Do you have
Talk about Poodle Corp.
You want to talk about Poodle Corp?
I don't like Poodle Corp.
All right. So tell everybody what Poodle Corp is.
They're a group of collective hackers, I guess you could call them, that take over people's phone service companies, their YouTube channels, their, I guess, gaming services, and they just don't do anything about it. I guess I don't know. They're like hackers that want to hack but don't want to do anything about hacking.
It's weird. Yeah.
And then it seems like they just do it for the social relevancy, so they get their name out there for whatever reason.
Yeah. The most recent thing that they claimed is they hacked Pokemon Go and they shut down the servers for a while. Pokemon Go did indeed admit that something happened that shut down their servers, but they didn't say that Poodle Corp did it, even though they claimed they did. They said that something happened. Poodle Corp said they DDoSed them. They got into their servers somehow and they shut it down. And they're claiming August 1st they're shutting it down. They said that they're going to take Pokemon Go down for an entire day. This company is responsible for shutting down, like he was saying.
It's not even a company. It's just a group of people that do this for giggles, I guess. I don't know why they do it.
That's what they said. They said they're doing it just because they like seeing chaos and they like being assholes. That's legit 100% what they said.
They get their rocks off by making people mad, I guess.
Hey man, they're sadists. They're masochists.
They're sadists and masochists, yeah, but there's no relevancy to what they're doing. It's like, oh, you take down this YouTuber's channel, so and so, they have 1 million subscribers, and then they get their YouTube channel back the next day, even the same day of, and it's like they changed all their YouTube videos to the hashtag Poodle Corp, hail Poodle Corp. It's why? Well, there's no reason that they're doing these things. They're not beneficial to them nor to the people they're doing this to. They're just it's an inconvenience to the services and the people that they're doing it to.
They're trolls, man. Plain and simple. They're just trolls. We all know it. We've seen it. Even like you remember the old famous like Halo compilations of trolls and stuff like that. People that would just get on there and do all that kind of crap. That's all I see, man. They're just trolls. They're just doing it just to do it. We have hackers that'll go on there and steal your like credit card information, stuff like that. Thankfully, so far, Poodle Corp hasn't claimed that they've stolen any personal information like that. But
well, they have their personal information. That's the thing.
They have their phone numbers.
They have their phone numbers and their emails and all the accounts they have associated with those emails.
This is on cell phone companies, by the way.
I was going to say, they hack cell phone companies. They know your billing address. They know where you live, your phone number, everything.
Well, they don't get into them. What they do is there's ways, because like they want to talk about like their personal information, or they want to like, they'll call up the companies and be like, hey, I'm this person. I want to talk about like upgrading my stuff. I don't remember what my password is or anything like that. Like there's ways that they get in without having to give out any of their like legitimate personal information, and they just find their way in and they snake in there and they just do it. So this is on the phone companies for really letting a lot of this happen. And a big like PSA came out not that long ago. YouTube has a thing where it's a verification, where they have you use your phone number to help verify your YouTube channel, and they link this up to a lot of things. They make it so that way you could post longer videos. and it's just easier to sign in. They just do stuff like that. And then that links up to your whole channel. So when they have your phone number, they essentially have got access to whatever they want. And there's a lot of companies that are doing this. Google in general is just the main culprit because they link up your phone number with a lot of the stuff. But yeah, once they have your phone number, they're essentially in, and they can just go ahead and do whatever. I don't know. So there was a big PSA out that said to unlink your YouTube accounts with like the second. I think it was like second confirmation or some bullshit like that. I don't know. But that's how they're doing it. That's the main way that they're doing it. And I'm sure there's a couple other ways that they're getting in, especially if they're like hacking into Pokemon Go. It's not phone numbers that they're doing with that. So that's getting a little bit more detailed. But
he said there's something with bots or bot collection or something. I don't know. I don't know how to do all that. I don't know. I don't understand it much. I just find it useless.
That's how
there's no reason.
That's how hackers do it though. Like they'll get on. There's like they call them zombies. That's what like infected computers are. They're called zombies. And then there's like this it's almost like a worm virus is what they call it. And it like spreads through and it'll infect computers, and then whenever that comes in contact with another one, it spreads the virus there.
Yeah.
And it just creates more zombie computers, which gives the virus more power, and then it can just attack something. So that's what happens. And that's what they were saying. They have a wide array of bots at their disposal to go ahead and do all this kind of crap. And so they're attacking, they're just attacking people just for the fun of it. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, there's just no reason behind any of it.
No. And it's ruining, it hasn't destroyed a channel yet, but it's made it so that way it's just, it's an inconvenience for people.
I was going to say, it's like...
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and then they have to go in and change all their passwords and all their T-Mobile accounts.
Yep.
They have to, or just phone company accounts in general, and it's just dumb. There's no reason they should be doing this. It's just annoying.
What do you think is going to have to be done to kind of like squash this out?
There's no way you can squash it out. Ever since the internet's been around, there's been people that can get past the securities of it. And there's always going to be people that think that's cool and that's hip, that they can go out and it's just like, if you can pick a lock, if you can be a locksmith and pick a lock against its will, and you can break into places, and you can brag about that. You're like, I can pick a lock and you can't. It's kind of the same thing about that. It's like, I can hack Pokemon Go and shut it down for a day. What can you do?
Yeah. It's kind of like they're just showing off, this is how big my fucking nuts are.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just no reason behind it. I feel like it has no substance. There's no reason that they should be doing it. There's no justification that they're doing it. And what they get as a feedback, I don't know. I don't know what they get out of it.
Sadomasochism. I'm calling it. That's all they care about. Get their rocks off by watching people just
get mad,
flounder. It's trolls, man. It's trolling at its finest. That's all it is. I don't know what the fuck else to call it, man. There's just no reason. I wouldn't do it, but then again, I'm not Poodle Corp, so I don't. It's an issue. It's something that needs to be corrected because it is. I don't want to say it's ruining YouTube because it's not. It's just it's making it. It's stupid. It's rearing its head, and it's just like, what's the fucking point?
They do it for video games too. They shut down servers of League of Legends and other games. It's like, why?
What's the fucking point?
And it's their justification, like, oh, if you get mad because the servers are down, you can't play that. You have no life. Therefore, find something better to do. And it's like, dude, I do this for fun, man. This is what I get for enjoyment. Why is that bad that I want to play a game or so-and-so game and you want to stop me from playing so-and-so game, and then you call me a loser because you shut it down and I got upset because I can't play what I like to do?
Yeah. What if
I don't understand that at all.
Trolls, man. I've got no other thing to say about it other than they're fucking trolls. I don't know. I like to think that these are the people that were just like not good enough. They were trying to be like the pro gamers and stuff like that, and they just weren't good enough, so they got super pissed off.
Yeah, they went from making shitty montages to hacking.
Yeah,
the DDoSing.
They're like, well, since I can't be a Call of Duty
quickscoper, I almost guarantee you there's going to be people DDoSing Call of Duty 4 when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, oh, I'm just going to DDoS Call of Duty 4 because so many people are going to get mad and it's going to make me so cool.
It's going to be the biggest Call of Duty in years. Fucking years. And it's a remaster.
Well,
it's
I
not
would
even
say biggest Call of Duty.
Tell me the last like really, really notable Call of Duty.
Every notable that people like?
Yeah, that
every
people
Call
like.
of Duty that comes out, people like. And that every single Call of Duty that comes out breaks other records of Call of Duties that come out. It's just a Call of Duty thing. That's if you got it last year, you're going to get it next year. That's how it is. Whether the long-term fans, like the people that played the old school Call of Duties, like them or not, they don't care. They just care about the sales and how much they sell, and they sell a lot.
That's how games are, though.
They sell a lot regardless of whether people enjoy it or not. You can buy the game and say it's a shitty game. Mm-hmm. You still bought the game.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as they have your money, that's all they care about. But if I went back and I looked at it, the last... You've seen it. Their sales have gone down. Not saying their sales still aren't great. Their sales are phenomenal for video games in general. But if you look at it for Call of Duty is lifetime. Call of Duty has sold less and less games every year, and I think it started around Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2. I think that's when it started to kind of go downhill. And the sales started to decrease. That's when people were kind of like, meh. You know, they kind of got done with it, and it's just gone worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, Call of Duty Ghost is what a lot of people consider the worst in the Call of Duty series. Mm-hmm. Hands down.
Yes.
And it's just... I don't know. I think that there's going to be a point, like... Nobody I know is talking about Infinite Warfare. Any of the videos I see about Call of Duty, they're all hyped for Call of Duty 4, a remaster of a game that they've already played, like, 10 years ago, I think. I think Call of Duty is like 10 year. Call of Duty 4 is like 10 years old, but no one's talking about Infinite Warfare. Everybody I've seen, they're like, yeah, I'll probably give Infinite Warfare a try, but for the most part, I'm in it for Call of Duty 4.
And I wouldn't even be in it for Call of Duty 4 because you have to buy the Legendary Edition or something like that.
Do you really?
Yes, it's not lumped in with the basic package. You have to buy the Legendary Limited Edition to get Call of Duty 4.
That's a bad idea, I think, because it is, and it's
when you want Call of Duty 4, you're going to buy the more expensive version.
Yeah, but the price point is also going to lock out some people from getting the game, which is going to be an issue there. And a fucking Infinite Warfare where people already don't give a shit about it, you want to fucking lock people out even more? Like, you may recuperate like a sale or two off of like the big old price point that you're going for with the Legendary Edition, trying to grab people up for Call of Duty 4, but you're going to lock a lot of people out, I think. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if down the road they start selling it individually. I feel like, yeah, Call of Duty 4 Remastered, we can sell it individually now. It might be like 3 months or something after where they start doing that, just so that way they can have it pick back up again. That's what happens when you release a game. Like, people get super excited about it for a little while, and then it kind of dies down a little bit and chills out, and then they like release DLC, and then it picks back up again because there's new shit to do, and then it dies back down. So there would be a new player base. That happens, like, same thing with Christmas. Like, you'll see it, like, they release them before Christmas for a reason. It's like 2 months before Christmas, and then like they play for a little bit, and then it dies down, and then Christmas time comes, and it jumps way back up because a lot of new people got the game for Christmas.
Christmas noobs.
Yeah, Christmas noobs. There's a term for it. You go out there when you have the game new, and you find the Christmas noobs, and you go out there and you just wreck them, and you ruin the game for them. But yeah, that's just how it is. God, that brings me back. Christmas noobs. I miss that term. I miss Call of Duty. I do. I wish Call of Duty was good.
Yeah, I miss playing a pretty fast-paced on the ground shooter.
On the ground shooter. Yeah.
Once they started getting the air, man, I fucking hated it. It's so stupid. It's an extra addition to the game that doesn't need to be there.
Absolutely. I agree with you, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, but they're just like, no, we really want to push this. I mean, people. They're saying people are buying Call of Duty regardless. They're making their money regardless. It's not as much as they used to make.
There are people that do like the new Call of Duties.
They're juicing it for everything that it's for. I enjoyed it a little bit. I did. I played Advanced Warfare. I think that's where the exosuit, I guess is what they're called, where that first became a thing with like the jumping and the wall riding. I think that's where it first became a thing.
Was it Advanced Warfare that started that?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was Advanced Warfare. Because I think Ghost was just ass. I don't remember why. I don't know why I didn't play Ghost, because I didn't care at that point. I was done with Call of Duty.
I'm pretty sure Ghost did have the exosuit.
I don't know. I really don't. But yeah,
maybe it had the jetpack. It didn't have like an exosuit or something like that.
That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. Call of Duty's different. I enjoyed Advanced Warfare a little bit. It was a nice change of pace. They did have a mode where you could play like classic Call of Duty where you couldn't jump around and fly around and shit like that.
Did they?
They did. However, it was on maps that were made for like the exosuits to move around in the mobility of the exosuits. So in that game, the maps are rather large. So playing in like the classic Call of Duty style on a map that was so big like that, it was weird. It was off. It didn't feel right. Yeah, it just wasn't that good. And the lobby for those was a lot smaller as well. So I don't know. They're muddying up the waters with it a little too much, in my opinion. And we're seeing it with what's it called, Battlefield 1?
Yes.
We're seeing a lot of people are really, really hyped about that. It's a classic.
Dude, it looks like a fantastic
classic
game.
Shooter. Classic. What, World War I?
Yeah, they're going back to World War I, and they're really grabbing up that Battlefield feel with the kind of muddy, gritty feeling of the World War I.
Yeah.
The pre-war, pre-advanced tech weapons, and I think they're really grabbing a good market with that. And it's definitely receiving a lot of recommendations from people that are in the alpha and not in the alpha. The people that want to play it, and the people that are playing it in the alpha say it's a fantastic game. They would love to play more and play with it more, with more games and maps, etc.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested in it.
It looks really cool.
Because I have there, with the exception, I guess there's like the new kind of like MOBA-ish first-person shooters like Overwatch and stuff out.
Those are objective-based shooters.
Yeah, they're different. They're a completely different kind of shooter. In a sense, it's still a first-person shooter, but it's just got a different feel to it. If you don't play if you play video games, you just understand there's just a different feel to it. It's I don't know. We haven't had a good first-person shooter in a long time. It's for a while there, like it was the big thing. If you weren't playing a first-person shooter, there was Halo, Call of Duty, and then Battlefield showed up. That was the big thing for a while. Now MOBAs are kind of the thing, and first-person shooters have been under the radar, and they've kind of been underappreciated for a few years now. That it's looking like it'll probably get revisited, and I think it'll pick back up. I don't think it'll take over, but I think it'll probably be pretty decent. I'm certainly interested. I definitely want to go ahead and take a look at Battlefield. I don't know how I'll play it. I don't know. I don't really want to spend the full $60 on it.
Have you ever played a Battlefield game?
I have. I've played Bad Company 2, which is that's what a lot of people said is the best one. And then I had Battlefield 4 for the PlayStation 4.
I would put Bad Company separate from Battlefield.
Okay.
It had the Battlefield name, but it's a whole different game. Like, it feels different. It's almost got... It's got its own feel to it. If you've played Battlefield 3 and 4, completely different games.
Well, I played Battlefield 4, and I played it for quite a bit. I had a few hours into it. So I do kind of have like an expectation of it, and I kind of know some of the things I really, really hated about Battlefield 4, and that's kind of what's making me not want to spend the full price on this.
See, the thing about Battlefield 2 is that there's the full price of the game, and then they give you the premium or platinum or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
Where you get that special
additional $55 purchase.
It's fucking
And then you
EA,
get
man.
you get every map and gun that comes out after that.
It's stupid.
And every game mode and stuff like that.
It's stupid. They're selling you
what is it?
incomplete
Premium,
games.
I think. Battlefield Premium?
It's retarded. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I can't see why they would do it any different for this game.
They're probably not going to, honestly. There's probably still going to be that Battlefield Premium where you get all the special weapons and special guns.
I think if they wanted to kill,
are the same thing.
if they wanted to kill Call of Duty,
modes.
if they wanted to kill Call of Duty, I think that they could absolutely do it because they do.
Well, Call of Duty does the same thing now with the boxes and stuff.
CS:GO, CS:GO is like they're famous for it, which is weird to me. Like microtransactions, they're famous for microtransactions, which is mind-boggling to me.
People
Box
like
openings,
the skins. Yeah, they love the skins.
That's mind-boggling to me. But
you don't have to do the boxes. People just like the boxes.
You get guns, though.
You can buy the guns on the market. You don't have to do the boxes.
You still have to do microtransactions to buy the guns, though, which is mind-boggling to me.
People just like to do the boxes. I don't know why. I think I would just buy the freaking gun.
It's exciting because when you see it sit there tick, it's like the whole lottery thing and going to like a casino. Like you sit there, you sit down, and you pull the lever, and all the lights light up, and all the tumblers are rolling around, and winner, ding, 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 and it spits out all those coins at you. That's exciting, man. That's how you fucking catch people there. That's how you get those old grannies sitting there looking at your ass.
I mean, I'd be one of those guys that would just throw quarters into the machine. In fact, back in the fair when they did you ever went to the little tent where they had those machines where you threw a quarter in and then would push it forward and it might push out 5 more quarters and then you have 5 more quarters to keep throwing quarters to get 10 quarters, or you can lose all your quarters.
Yeah,
that happens sometimes, of course, but that's fun. I don't know why, but that caught on to me. I would sit there for like 3 hours just throwing quarters into a machine.
So if you can do that, I don't understand why you don't understand the boxing of the CS:GO community.
Because the chances of you getting what you want are very slim. It would be...
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It is. It's
not.
Absolutely
you
the same.
don't... When you throw a quarter into the machine, you hope to have quarters. You're not like, I want that purple quarter with its special name.
You absolutely want it. Otherwise, there's no goddamn reason for you to play the game.
It's just fun to throw quarters into it.
It's fun to throw
It's not
money.
fun to throw $45 into cases that you're not going to get what you literally want. It's fun to throw quarters in meaningless. It's like a pastime. It's not fun to spend $500 on a case and still not have the skin that you want.
Your argument doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. It's the same fucking thing.
No, it's fun to throw quarters into it. It's not fun to throw quarters into the machine and not because you're not throwing it for fun. You're throwing it to get the gun that you want. And the skin that you want.
You just said that you can go onto the market and you can buy the exact gun that you want.
And that's what I'm saying.
So
you can just go out and buy the gun.
So the people that are doing the packs or the boxes, they're just they know for a fact that they most likely won't get it. They know that going in. So they're doing it for fun. They're doing it for the maybe. That's why they're doing it. It is. It's the same fucking thing. It absolutely is, because you're doing it because you know there is a chance for you to go ahead and you might get the weapon, but there's a way that you can definitely, absolutely, 110% get the gun, and if you go into the market, you can absolutely buy it. Mm-hmm. It's the same fucking thing. It's 100% the same thing.
All right.
It is, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, bro. It's the same fucking thing. So, look at trading cards. Like, it's the same thing. There's, secondary markets and stuff like that. It's not by the company. Like, you look at Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! They're secondary markets. They're not endorsed by the company. They don't want you to individually sell their shit anyways. But you can absolutely do that. They want you to buy the fucking packs. They want you to buy that and, have a chance to get the really, really good shit. Mm-hmm. But that's how they do it. And some people... A lot of people know this already. They know it's cheaper to buy the singles that you need or you really, really want. They know it's cheaper, but some people go ahead and buy the boxes anyways, whether it's for collecting or they just have fun opening it. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of the same thing. It's just a different kind of outlet. It's a different kind of media, different kind of product. But in the end, if you break it down, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, I don't know. There's we could tag off on some Pokemon Go news too. There's been some more crazy shit going on. Apparently, I was reading it on Reddit. A fucking teenager got hit by a car. Finally, I assume that there's been more.
It's not the first case.
But this one is catching a lot of news because they're talking about suing the company now because of the kid.
I knew 100% that would happen.
So, if you go through and you read the article, they're sitting there talking about it. They're talking to the parent and stuff like that. So, the kid wasn't looking when she crossed the street. I think she was like 14 or 15 or something like that. She wasn't looking. She was looking down at her phone trying to catch a Pokemon or some bullshit. I don't know if she was actually catching the Pokemon at the time, but she wasn't looking, didn't look both ways before she crossed the street, and walked out in front of somebody and got hit by a car. She lived. She's fine. She was in a neck brace. She had like a black eye and shit. She got fucked up pretty bad. But the mom came on and like they were talking, they were doing an interview, and the mom said, well, I think the company is definitely at fault because if it wasn't for Pokemon Go making my daughter go outside, she would have just stayed inside the house and she wouldn't have got hit by a car. And so they're talking about suing the company. That's fucking unreal to me. You would rather your child sit inside of their room, get no exercise, and then because they go outside and something happened to happen, you want to take it out on the company, and they're trying to make this cash grab just because they're like, ooh, I got my fucking golden ticket. Like when that dumb bitch spilled the coffee on herself at McDonald's. Like, they think they have their golden ticket, and so they're going to go ahead and try to fuck this up.
Well, they will. They'll get their money.
They're going to get a settlement. It's 100% going to happen, which is fucking so stupid. It's so stupid, but there is something that's pretty interesting, is that when you're opening up Pokemon Go, it flat out says, make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. It's a warning label, so that way you don't fucking hurt yourself. It fucking tells you that. And it's not... another thing that they said in there is it forces people to cross the street. It fucking doesn't. It doesn't force you to cross the street at all. You can stay on a goddamn sidewalk and you can walk around. It doesn't say you must cross this street. At all. At all. If you want to go get this Pokemon and you want to get there quicker, you might have to cross the goddamn street. Mm-hmm. But fucking pay attention to the goddamn road. You're 15 years old. You know goddamn well how to look both ways. They teach you that when you're 3 years old so you don't walk into traffic in a goddamn parking lot.
Yeah.
So fucking stupid. It's so dumb. And we're just going to get more and more cases of this. And it'll probably ruin the game, honestly. It's going to suck. They're going to have to do something. I don't know. It's just fucking ironic.
It's not going to ruin the game. It's not going to affect the game whatsoever. I don't think
They'll have to do something about it.
Like what?
They'll have to put some sort of label or something on it.
They already did. You said when they open it up, it says don't be stupid.
Yeah, but people can keep fucking walking out in traffic and blaming it on them. And
they
can keep getting settlements, then shut the game down.
That's their warning label. That's like why when you go to McDonald's and order coffee now, it says warning hot coffee. It says warning don't cross roads in the beginning. Then they can't get sued for crossing a road and getting hit.
I don't know.
It already has a warning label on it. You can't get anything out of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something that happens where they order them to do something. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of legal action taken to try to reform the game and change it. It wouldn't surprise me.
I could not see them affecting it affecting the game whatsoever.
I don't think it's not going to change the gameplay because you can't change the gameplay, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do things like if there's like while you're walking it'll like flash or vibrate and be like make sure you're checking your surroundings and like do that and like a screen will come up. I wouldn't be surprised if that
happens up. It's not going to affect the game still. It's just a warning.
It's annoying.
The same thing happens when you play Wii for too long. A little message comes up, you should take a break. And you ignore the message and keep playing.
Yeah.
It's always been on Nintendo products.
Yeah, but
whether or not it's on Pokemon Go right now.
It's annoying though. It's a fucking...
It's one extra click of a go away.
Still a fucking hassle I shouldn't have to have because some fucking idiot didn't look both ways before they crossed the street. That fucking one idiot ruins it for everybody else. I'm not saying it ruins it completely. It just makes it a fucking hassle that it doesn't have to be. It's moronic. We're fucking catering to the people that are supposed to be wiped out by goddamn natural selection.
Mm-hmm.
That's my piece with it.
Well, it's still not going to change the game much.
No, it won't. I'm not saying it is. I'm just being...
And there are always going to be people that are going to get hit by cars.
Absolutely.
And walk off a cliff.
Absolutely.
It's not going to change. And honestly, Nintendo could probably get away with, we say that to pay attention. There's nothing we can do about it. That after our consumer has our product, we cannot control them after that point.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing with the GPS. If a GPS tells you to take a U-turn, you get hit during the U-turn, you can't sue the GPS company.
Yeah. I don't know. There's gonna be legal action at some point if there isn't already. Something's gonna happen.
I'm assuming Nintendo's lawyer is gonna be super good.
You can be as good of a lawyer as you want. If something comes up and they find some sort of loophole, you could get one lawyer that finds a loophole in the goddamn thing and fucking comes at them. Like, they put this out, they have that warning label on there, they did this, they consulted a legal team for this.
Oh, 100%.
They 100% did, so they feel like they're covered pretty well. Someone's gonna find a way to fuck this up. When you release it to the masses and you have millions of people testing it out and putting it under stress test, you're gonna find somebody that fucks something up somewhere along the way. And if this one's going to cause a legal action, it's going to fucking happen. Somehow. It's going to happen.
And it might happen, yeah. And it's still going to be a game, and it's still going to happen regardless. And I think that they probably already have a legal team set up that takes care of cases like this already. That they're like, okay, well, you call so-and-so number into Nintendo headquarters, and you'll talk to our so-and-so lawyer, and they'll say your options.
Yeah. There was the big thing when the Wii came out where people were throwing their goddamn controllers through
breaking
the television.
TVs everywhere, yeah.
It was unreal.
Shit, that still happens. Because nobody puts on the safety harness.
Nobody puts on the wrist strap.
Because why?
Nobody does it.
And then you break a TV and you have to explain to your friends why you got a new TV. And you're like, well, I broke it with my Wii.
I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know. I guess that's just going to happen when you're dealing with people physically doing it.
Yeah.
You're going to get the fucking idiots who are like, I didn't say I couldn't put it up my butt, so I put it up my butt. And now I'm in the hospital. I'm going to shoot a game. I don't know, man.
It's just going to happen regardless.
At some point, like, you have to just let people be like, you were too stupid. This is your fault. It's not the game's fault. Stop being stupid. Go get your get-rich-quick scheme somewhere else. Don't walk into traffic anymore, idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a never-ending loop of stuff you could say about that, but in the end, it really doesn't even matter.
I don't know. Just wait until we get into full-on augmented reality. Shit like that goes on.
Where people die.
Wait until we start strapping.
Where people literally starve to death because they just sit there in the headset or in whatever at that point of time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
Taps into your neural pathways. You get paralyzed because you don't come off of it. I'm sure there's gonna be something like that, but I mean, it's gonna happen regardless. There's always gonna be somebody that tries to ruin it for others.
God damn it. Fucking people, man. It's unreal.
Just like in high school, you know, if you're allowed gum in a classroom and there's that one cow that smacks it just ruins gum for everybody else. And the teacher doesn't allow gum in anymore.
You do that, stick it under the table.
Yeah, which I don't get. You either swallow it or fucking get your fat ass up to throw it away. I don't understand why you stick it under a table. That's disgusting.
Speaking of fat ass, you wanna talk about our food review? Do you want to do that?
Our food review?
You want to do the food review? You want to talk about
our food review of the triple double crunchy wrap?
Yeah,
from Taco Bell.
The triple double crunch wrap from Taco Bell. So I had the spicy one, which is it's the same thing. They just throw jalapenos, slices of jalapenos on it.
It's spicy jalapenos, and then they use spicy ranch.
Oh, they throw spicy ranch on it too?
They do spicy ranch instead of normal ranch.
I will say this. I got 3/4 of the way through it, and I didn't finish it. I didn't taste spicy ranch at any point. The jalapenos weren't spicy. And I've had some jalapenos that have flat out burned me in the past. And this one, it's Taco Bell. So
Come in a little baggie.
Yeah.
That they defrost.
They probably did something, and it's not that spicy anymore. I'm sure it had a little bit of kick for people that don't indulge on spicy food as much as I do. But I didn't think it was that good, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you don't get the wraps very often, the crunchy wraps.
Part of the reason is because I don't enjoy a lot of tortilla.
There's a lot of tortilla on it.
There's a lot of goddamn tortilla on it. Just the way that they wrap it, it's thick on the bottom to make sure everything holds in, and then the way that they fold it over, it's so you get layers of tortilla on there, and that's just way too much for me. So I dislike that. The meat was Taco Bell meat. There is in like the middle they have like a flat like hard shell,
and that's what the crunchy wrap is. It's just a hard shell taco, flat hard shell taco that they put in there.
I thought that was fine.
And with this, the advertising of the triple double is it's beef, hard shell taco, beef again, hard shell taco, and then all your goodies.
Really?
Lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and then ranch, and then wrapped up.
I only saw one hard shell in the middle. There was the beef and then the hard shell, and then I think there was a little bit of beef on top of that mixed in with like all the other fixings.
Okay. I had 2 hard shells on mine, 100%.
Did you?
They layered much beef, and that's the thing they also advertise. It's triple the beef or double the beef, and it's not. It's literally the triple double crunch wrap is the same size as the normal crunch wrap. It's just $2 more.
Yeah.
And you get one extra crispy hard shell flat taco in the middle, and it's not as big as they advertise whatsoever.
That's expected though. Like anytime they advertise something, but at the same time, it's just like
you could at least try.
That's the gimmick of this thing, though. That's the gimmick is that
it's larger.
Yeah,
it's not larger.
That's the gimmick of this thing.
It's the same size, maybe with a half portion of extra beef.
Yeah.
Which you can ask for extra beef on your crunch wrap, and it'll be maybe 50, 75 cents more.
Yep.
Instead of getting the triple double and it being $2 more.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go out and buy it. With that said, I thought it was good. I like the crunch wraps. Was it worth the extra price? No, it wasn't. But it was good. It's a crunch wrap. It's a crunch wrap.
It is. It's
with
a crunch
ranch.
Wrap.
They put ranch on it.
If you enjoy the crunch wrap, I would recommend it. I don't like that much tortilla, so I was kind of biased to it as is. It has the classic kind of Taco Bell taste to it. If you enjoy like classic Taco Bell stuff, you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy crunch wraps, you'll enjoy this. Out of 10, man. Or no, should we do a wacky scale?
No, let's just do 10.
Just out of 10?
Just 10.
What would you grade the triple double crunch wrap from Taco Bell out of 10?
Triple double crunch wrap from Taco Bell out of 10. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
It's because the crunch wraps are a 7 out of 10. They're okay. They're not very flavorful. They're filling for what they are. Just the extra $2 for the triple double, not worth.
Okay.
I would give the price a 6 out of 10, but the actual thing a 7 out of 10.
Okay, so we're going to do an individual one for the price. I'm going to include the price entirely in mine as well. I think they're like $5 or something like that.
I think they were $4.40.
$4.40?
Something like that.
Something like that.
They're stupid expensive. $4.25 or something.
For a Taco Bell meal.
It's the most expensive item on their menu currently.
I think it's too expensive for what you're getting. And I just don't like it. I didn't think it was that good. I thought that they were going to have something a little different. It wasn't good for me. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
Jesus.
It's a 4 out of 10 for me. Sorry, Taco Bell. Didn't fucking do it for me. Go get yourself a goddamn Crunchwrap Supreme and enjoy yourself. I want back
the double. Not gonna enjoy yourself. It's the same thing.
I want the double XL Chalupa back, man.
I've never had that. I never tried it once.
Oh my god, was out. They were so good.
It came out like 2 years ago, didn't it?
I think that's the last time they released it. They did it one season, and I was like, man, this is really good. Then they took it away. How they do like their little things.
They have a rotation. They do.
Yeah, they do
different
that.
trying experiments. And
stuff. Then they brought it back again the next year, and it hasn't come back since. And I I'm a little disappointed in that. I thought that they were going to do like a whole McRib thing with it.
Seasonal?
Yeah, but they didn't. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I want my double XL chalupa back, man. That was so good. I would get 2 of those things and max out. Oh, man. They're big, too. I enjoyed those.
I'll tell you what's big is those double extra large grilled stuffed burritos. Those things are massive.
Yeah.
And those are good.
Those are some thick and hearty ones.
It's like $3.25.
$3.25?
Big old burrito. You get avocado, you get your fried rice.
Loaded up.
It's good. Refried beans, beef, chicken or steak. It's very good. This stuffed burrito, can't go wrong with it.
Absolutely. So I think that'll do it for us today. A nice little 1.5 hour podcast. We'll keep it under the 2 hour mark. I think we covered some pretty good stuff today, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff we talked about.
A lot of stuff. So it seems like we'll be able to keep up with this weekly thing.
Hopefully.
I think the next thing I'm going to try to do is I'll probably try to get this on iTunes. It's probably the next step in kind of diversifying, because I got some feedback on the last podcast.
Did you?
I did. I got some feedback. The main one that really comes to mind is there was no picture on an audio-only podcast, which was a little odd to me.
I guess we could just put our logo over it.
I don't know.
They didn't want to stare at a black screen, or
I guess. I mean, you could
you
could turn it on and then flip on something else.
You usually put on a podcast behind something.
I don't know. Whatever. We'll try to figure something out, I guess.
I guess we could put a picture or something.
We could do something.
We could put a picture of the triple double.
We could put the. Well, that'll just be the entire thing.
That would be a Taco Bell advertisement. With 4 out of 10, we can't advertise that.
No, man. Taco Bell, you can come back at us. I'm not going to change my rating, but if you want to go ahead and sponsor us and give me a cheesy gordita crunch, I'll be in on
I don't need any Taco Bell sponsorship. I think we eat enough fast food.
Speaking of which, I think it's time to go eat. So we will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully, we'll have this cast going on.
Yeah, hopefully we have somebody else.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If not, it's whatever. We can do it just us. It doesn't matter. It's better. We have games and stuff planned.
Yeah,
that would be better with other people.
I think we'll definitely try to do a little bit more stuff next week as well. All right, so thank you for checking out the podcast. Like I was saying before, if you guys have any criticisms or even discussions, please feel free to to add on, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.